Hey everyone, welcome to Open Eyes. Hey everyone, welcome to Open
Hey
Eyes.
everyone, welcome back to your favorite podcast, Open Eyes. This is your favorite and fabulous host, Alexis Lugo. And I hope that you are loving the content video-wise and audio on Spotify. And also make sure to always like, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Also give us a 5-star if you can, if you've been loving these episodes and this podcast. So I recently turned 25 last weekend, and people say that at 25 it's like your quarter-line crisis. It could be very positive or it could be very negative. You can maybe have like very low lows or very high highs. It just depends where you are in your lifetime, in your journey, and maybe where you want to be in life. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to turn 25 and I'm going to have this midlife crisis, this quarter-line crisis, and it's all going to go downhill, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, no, I'm 25. That means I've already done a quarter life of my lifetime, of my era. And I even, like, when I posted my birthday pictures on Instagram, I was like, okay, this is a new era. It's the year of a new era of me turning 25. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make this my most positive, my most like upbringing, my most like joyful self. So I started that with traveling. That's something I want to do. I want be more aligned with my fitness journey, being more positive in that mindset of being okay, I am 25 and yes, maybe when I was little I didn't think of where I would be at 25, single, not where I want to be career-wise, maybe not knowing what I want educational-wise, things like that. I didn't think I would be at this point. Also, I never thought that I would have a visual impairment, and I never thought I'd be legally blind at the age of 25. I'm almost at my, I think, 10-year mark of being legally blind. I have been legally blind since I was 17, so that's almost nine years. And the little sad thing is that my legally blind anniversary, you would say, is always going to be on my birthday. That is the day that my parents got the diagnosis of me saying that your daughter is legally blind, and also my Bardet-Biedl syndrome, saying that yes, she has a rare disease. So every year on my birthday, it's kind of my anniversary of my birthday, me knowing that I have a rare disease, and also me knowing that am legally blind with retinitis pigmentosa. Because at first they thought I had Stargardt disease, but then they pinpointed to retinitis pigmentosa. So that's also a bittersweet moment for my family as well every year on my birthday. Because it's also knowing that, oh, another year has gone by, and yes, there's been ups and downs with vision, there's been with just me in general, and just my family seeing me being more independent each year and every year of since being diagnosed legally blind. So I wanted to tell y'all a little bit about my journey over having almost 10 years being legally blind, but also my journey being just a young adult and being 25 now. Because I thought at 25, you always think, oh, I'm going to have maybe a partner, or maybe I'm going to be here in my goals, or I'm going to have, or maybe for me it was branching out and being, okay, I can be more independent, and then I also can reach the goals that I want, and I can change, and I don't have to be with somebody, things like that. You would think, oh, that's a good thing, like, because more independence means more freedom, it means more confidence, it means, oh, I can do this, things like that. Because a lot of people think, oh, she's legally blind, maybe she lives at home, but like all sheltered, her parents maybe don't let her be independent. A lot of people may think that when you have a disability, they think, oh, we just stay at home, sheltered in, we get babied by our family, oh, we get pitied by other people we see, or we can't do things that we love to do independently, or we can't try new things to feel more independent, to feel more confident, And also that. So I've learned in the past almost 9, 10 years of being legally blind, it has opened my eyes in a way of saying, oh, okay, I love to do these things. I want to feel more independent. I I can do them, and I love that I've been inspired by other people, but I also been inspiring others as well with my journey, because for me it has been, at first it was rough for me to say, oh, I do have a disability, or I am legally blind. It was very tough for me because I was like, oh, I had these goals in mind. I had these things I wanted to do in mind, but then I got told that I was legally blind, and that kind of changed my mindset of, oh, okay, now I have to accommodate myself in this way, in this way. And then the sad thing is that my eye condition is very progressive, so at the moment it could be stable, and then it could maybe change, it could progress, and you never know. So that's also something we always worry if you have retinitis pigmentosa. You never know what day you could go blind. So there is that too. But also there is, oh, okay, I am turning 25, and look at all the things that I've accomplished. I've lived on my own. I've traveled on my own. I'm very independent with cleaning, cooking, all my things. If I have a question about something, I've been more self-determined about myself. I've been very independent, I very advocated for myself when I need things and things like that. So it's always looking back and feeling accomplished, of knowing all the things that I've done, all the things that I inspired people to do, which is always my motive with this podcast. I started this podcast for myself when I was starting to lose my vision, and I was told that I was legally blind. I didn't know how to cope with knowing that I didn't know how to manage my emotions. I didn't know where to turn to because there was very few resources about retinitis pigmentosa at the time. And look at things, there's more now. But still, I was like, oh, I don't see a lot of support groups with retinitis pigmentosa. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. So it's like, for me, it was like, this is like a form of like a journal, or it's a diary, or it's like some form of me to express myself on the struggles, on the positives, on the negatives, on the goals I've accomplished, things that I want to do. So it's been very helpful for me to share my journey, my experiences, and also my issues. Maybe someone can relate in some way. So that's why I started my podcast. I've been using it as like something for me, and it's helped me a lot to know myself, feeling more confident, feeling more, oh, I am doing something for me, but I'm also helping others in a form of way. So that's why I love doing this podcast. It has helped me grow and say, oh, I can look back and be like, okay, here I was at this time in my life, or here I was in this other point in my life, and maybe the stories I tell that maybe help somebody, things like that. So I love that at the age of 25, I'm very independent due to being legally blind and things like that. I've always accomplished so much more than someone maybe that's sighted has. I've heard stories of people that are sighted that don't really know how to cook or don't really know how to be so independent. And so that's made me feel more confident, being like, oh, okay, I am very independent in a form of way and things like that. And also I was like, oh, okay, if I want to better myself, I have to do this, this, and this. Or I was like, okay, I have a disability, but I'm not going to stop doing my very adventurous, thrill junkie seeking person that I am. I'm not going to stop being like that. And I think that was one of my insecurities I had when I was starting to tell people that I'm legally blind, was that I felt that I'm going to be just pitied, and I'm going to be told, oh, just known for my being legally blind, and people are not going to get to know my true self of this very funny, very outgoing, very bubbly person that I am, and they're just going to look at me as a person that has a disability, that's why that's kind of scared me when I was told that I had to tell my family members, or I had to tell people that I recently meet, or my friends, things like that. I always had an issue being so open about my disability at first. I think the first 2 years is always a struggle for anybody because you're still trying to accommodate yourself, you're still trying to navigate things, or maybe you're trying to find ways to accommodate in maybe something that you're doing that you were like, oh, I can't do that anymore. And yes, for everyone, yes, it is very sad that, oh, we can't drive and we always have to depend on somebody or some form of transportation to get ourselves to point A to point B. And yes, that was a bit struggle for me because at the moment when I was told I was legally blind, I was starting to drive, and then I was told that I couldn't get my driver's license. So that's a very sad moment as well. Or maybe you get diagnosed later in life and you were driving and now you can't drive. So there's situations like that as well, that people maybe have to let go of something that they used to do and now they have to accommodate themselves for it. So that's what I've learned in the past 25 years, but only 9 years being legally blind. But 25 years I've dealt with other health issues due to Bardet-Biedl syndrome that are just symptoms of the Bardet-Biedl syndrome that I had to deal with when I was a little child or when I was a young adult, things like that. So I feel so proud of myself because every obstacle I've faced, I've always accomplished, and I've met those goals that I always want to meet in life. And also, I feel very accomplished that every hurdle I get, I always find a way to path through it. Or every goal I want to accomplish, it's like, oh, okay, how do I get there? Things like that. So thanks so much for listening to this episode of me feeling that I don't feel old, and me turning 25 is an accomplishment, not a doubt of saying, oh, I'm old, or now I have to do this, and that. So don't feel like, oh, age is just a number. You can feel young. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm 25, or oh, I'm 30, or I'm 50, and like I can't do things like. And it's like, no, that's age is just a number, and then we still have a young heart. We still have a childhood heart. Then go for it. Do the things that you love to do and things like that. So make sure to rate, subscribe, like on Spotify at Open Eyes on Spotify. That's at Open Eyes on Spotify. And follow us on our social medias, which is on Instagram at open.eyes23. That is open.eyes23. And on TikTok at openeyes23 at openeyes23. Thank you.